chosen one. You were told to watch this alone for a reason. Chosen one, stop everything. Right now, stop scrolling, stop the multitasking, stop splitting your attention between this and anything else. If you are around people, this is not for them. If there is noise in the background, silence it. If your mind is busy planning what is next, put that aside. Because God just interrupted your entire day to say something that cannot be heard in pieces. This message was not meant to be background noise. This was meant to be received alone, in stillness, with nothing competing for your attention. And if you cannot do that right now, bookmark this and come back when you can. Because what is about to be spoken requires your full presence, not your partial attention. Take a breath, a real one. Notice how your chest feels tighter than it should. Notice how your mind has been louder than usual. Notice how your spirit has felt crowded even when you are physically alone. That is not random. That is not stress. That is spiritual activity. And God pulled you here, away from everything and everyone, to tell you what is really happening and why you need to stay quiet for just a little while longer. Let me start with this. The reason God said to watch this alone is because what He is about to reveal cannot survive being filtered through other people's opinions, questions, or energy. Some truths are so personal, so precisely timed, so specifically assigned to you that letting anyone else into the room while you receive them would dilute their power. This is one of those moments. This is one of those messages. This is one of those divine interruptions that only make sense to the person it was sent for. Everyone else would hear words, but you are about to hear confirmation. You have been feeling isolated lately, haven't you? Not just physically alone, but emotionally distant, spiritually separated. Like you are standing in rooms full of people, but feeling completely disconnected from all of them. Like conversations happen around you, but nothing lands. Like you are present in body, but your spirit is somewhere else entirely, and you have been wondering what is wrong. You have been questioning whether you are depressing yourself into isolation, whether you are becoming antisocial, whether you are pushing people away. But chosen one, what if none of that is true? What if what you are experiencing isn't isolation at all, but insulation? God has been wrapping you in a spiritual cocoon. He has been pulling you away from noise, drama, opinions, expectations, and even well-meaning voices that would interfere with what He is doing inside you right now, because you are in formation. You are being reshaped. You are being recalibrated. You are being upgraded at a level so deep that it cannot happen in public. It cannot happen in conversations. It cannot happen while you are trying to explain yourself to people who wouldn't understand, even if you had the words. So God removed the audience. He cleared the room. He silenced the voices, not to punish you with loneliness, but to protect you during transition. Now, let me tell you why this protection was necessary. Someone has been testing you. Maybe multiple people. Not obviously, not aggressively, but subtly, strategically. They have been saying things that poke at old wounds, bringing up topics they know trigger you, asking questions that feel innocent but land heavy, making comments that seem harmless but leave you unsettled. And the worst part is, you cannot quite call it out, because on the surface it looks fine. But your spirit knows. Your discernment picks up what your logic cannot prove, and you have been feeling crazy for being bothered by things that technically weren't attacks. But they were. They absolutely were. Just because someone smiles while they stab doesn't mean the knife isn't real. Just because someone uses soft words doesn't mean the intention isn't sharp. Just because someone acts concerned doesn't mean they are not testing to see if you will react, defend, explain, or break. And God saw it. God felt it. God said enough. That is why He pulled you here. That is why He separated you. That is why He is telling you to stay quiet just a little longer. Because if you respond now, if you defend now, if you explain now, you will give access to people who no longer have clearance to your next level. Let me say that again because it is critical. Not everyone who had access to your last season gets access to your next one. Not everyone who knew the old you gets to know the new you. Not everyone who walked with you through the valley gets to walk with you to the mountain. And that is not cruel. That is not cold. That is wisdom. That is boundary. That is protection. Because the version of you that God is unveiling cannot coexist with people who are still trying to relate to the version He already buried. You have been noticing something lately. Your tolerance for certain things has completely disappeared. Conversations that used to be fine now feel draining. People you used to enjoy now feel exhausting. Environments you used to navigate easily now feel suffocating. Drama that used to pull you in now repels you instantly. And you have been wondering if maybe you are being too sensitive, too harsh, too judgmental. But what if you are not? What if your spirit has simply graduated to a frequency where dysfunction, fakeness, and chaos no longer resonate? What if God adjusted your spiritual antenna so you cannot tolerate what used to feel normal, because normal was never supposed to be your permanent address? Here is what is really happening. God is teaching you a new language. The language of discernment, the language of silence, the language of boundaries without explanation, the language of walking away without closure, the language of trusting what you feel, even when you cannot prove what you know. And this language cannot be learned in noise. It cannot be learned in crowds. It cannot be learned while defending yourself to people who question your growth. It has to be learned alone, in stillness, in separation, in the quiet space between who you were and who you are becoming. And that space, chosen one, that is where you are right now. You are in the gap, the in-between, the transition zone. And it is uncomfortable because nothing is clear yet. You are not who you used to be, but you are not fully who you are becoming either. You are shedding old skin, but the new skin hasn't fully formed. You are leaving familiar territory, but you haven't arrived at the new land yet. And this space feels vulnerable, exposed, uncertain, but it is also sacred. It is also necessary. It is also where transformation happens. The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly by staying comfortable. It becomes a butterfly by surrendering to a process that looks like death but leads to flight. Let me tell you what the enemy has been trying to do. He knows you are in transition. He knows you are being shifted. He knows God is repositioning you for something bigger, something deeper, something that will impact more people than your last season did. And he cannot stop what God already ordained. He cannot cancel what God already decreed. He cannot block what God already released. But what he can do is distract you, provoke you, drain you, confuse you, get you to react emotionally instead of respond strategically, get you to defend yourself instead of trust God's defense, get you to explain yourself instead of let your life be the explanation. So he has been sending test after test, conversation after conversation, situation after situation, all designed to pull you out of stillness and back into reaction. All designed to make you prove yourself instead of rest in God's approval. all designed to get you talking when God told you to be quiet. And if he can get you to break your silence prematurely, if he can get you to step out of alignment even for a moment, he delays what is coming. He doesn't cancel it, but he delays it. And delay is his only weapon right now. That is why God is being so firm with you about staying quiet. That is why he keeps redirecting you back to stillness every time you feel the urge to speak. That is why he is protecting your peace so aggressively, because your silence right now is not weakness. Your silence is warfare. Every day you don't react is a day the enemy's plan fails. Every conversation you don't engage is a trap you don't fall into. Every explanation you don't give is energy you don't waste. Your stillness is not passive. Your stillness is powerful. Your stillness is obedience. And obedience always, always, always positions you for breakthrough. Now, let me address the guilt you have been feeling, because I know it is there. You feel guilty for pulling away from people. You feel guilty for not being as available as you used to be. You feel guilty for not explaining why you have changed. You feel guilty for not defending yourself when people misunderstand you. You feel guilty for protecting your energy when that means disappointing people who expect access to you. And that guilt sits heavy on your chest. It makes you question whether you are being selfish, cold, distant, or unkind. But chosen one, listen to me. Boundaries are not betrayal. Distance is not rejection. Silence is not cruelty. Protection is not punishment. And you are not responsible for managing other people's feelings about your obedience to God. You are not responsible for making people comfortable with your growth. You are not responsible for staying small so others feel secure. You are not responsible for explaining spiritual shifts to people who are still living in the flesh. Your responsibility is to God first. Your responsibility is to your assignment. Your responsibility is to protect what God is building in you, even if that means disappointing people who expected you to stay the same. Let me tell you what is about to happen. Soon, very soon. The fog is going to lift. The confusion is going to clear. The silence is going to break. And when it does, everything that has been hidden is going to be revealed. God is about to expose motives you couldn't see, intentions you couldn't prove, resistance you couldn't name, jealousy that wore a smile, manipulation that spoke softly, control that acted concerned. All of it is about to come to light, not because you forced it, not because you confronted it, not because you defended yourself, but because God saw it, and God is handling it. And when that exposure happens, you are going to understand why he told you to stay quiet. You are going to see why he protected you from speaking too soon. You are going to realize that if you had defended yourself, if you had explained yourself, if you had confronted people, you would have given them ammunition to twist your words, question your motives, and delay your breakthrough. But because you stayed silent, because you stayed still, because you stayed aligned, God gets to defend you. And when God defends you, no one can argue, no one can manipulate, no one can twist. The truth just is, and everyone sees it. But here is what you need to understand. This exposure is not for revenge. It is for clarity. It is not to hurt people. It is to free you. It is not to embarrass anyone. It is to establish boundaries. Because once the truth is out, once motives are clear, once intentions are exposed, you will know exactly who belongs in your next season and who doesn't. You will know exactly what relationships to invest in and which ones to release. You will know exactly what voices to listen to and which ones to ignore. And that clarity, that discernment, that is the gift God is giving you through this process. So right now, today, your job is simple. Stay still, stay quiet, stay aligned, don't defend, don't explain, don't react, don't force, don't rush, just trust. Trust that God sees what you see, trust that God knows what you know, trust that God feels what you feel. Trust that He is already working behind the scenes in ways you cannot see. Trust that His timing is perfect, even when it feels slow. Trust that His silence is preparation, not absence. Trust that His protection is active, not passive. And while you are waiting, while you are staying still, let me tell you what else is happening. God is strengthening you. He is deepening your roots, so when the blessing comes, you can carry it. He is expanding your capacity, so when the door opens, you can walk through it. He is sharpening your discernment, so when the enemy tries again, you will see him coming. He is fortifying your boundaries, so when people test you, you will not waver. He is establishing your identity, so when criticism comes, it will not shake you. He is securing your peace, so when chaos surrounds you, it will not enter you. This season of silence is not empty. It is full. It is full of preparation. It is full of transformation. It is full of divine activity that is happening beneath the surface. You cannot see it yet. You cannot feel it yet, but it is happening. And one day, very soon, you are going to step into the fullness of what God prepared, and you are going to look back at this quiet season and thank Him. You are going to see that what felt like isolation was actually incubation. What felt like delay was actually development. What felt like silence was actually strategy. Chosen one, before I finish, I need to tell you one more thing. The version of you that emerges from this season is going to be unrecognizable, not to God, because He has always known who you really are, but to people, to yourself. To the enemy, you are going to walk with a confidence that doesn't need validation. You are going to speak with an authority that doesn't need permission. You are going to move with a clarity that doesn't need explanation. You are going to love with a security that doesn't need reciprocation. You are going to serve with a purpose that doesn't need recognition. And people are going to wonder what happened to you. They are going to ask what changed. And you will not even know how to explain it, because it happened in the secret place, in the quiet, in the alone moments with God that nobody saw. That is the power of this season. That is the purpose of this isolation. That is why God said to watch this alone. Because what He is doing in you right now is too sacred to be explained, too personal to be shared, too powerful to be rushed. So stay here, stay still, stay surrendered, and trust that when the time is right, when the preparation is complete, when the formation is finished, God is going to release you. And when He does, nothing and no one will be able to stop what He started. Let me talk to you about what you have been experiencing physically, because your body has been responding to this spiritual shift. You have been more tired than usual, not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. The kind of tired that sits in your bones, the kind of tired that makes you want to cancel plans even though you are not sick. The kind of tired that has you going to bed earlier and waking up still exhausted. And you have been wondering